is them trying to find a proper trade, because they just waived Juana Bonner and we got nothing for her, bro. They simply let her leave. Now, this is crazy to me. How could somebody that you pursued, wanted to have on his team, just say, you know what? I don't want to play for y'all no more. Like, what the hell? She literally said, you know, I just don't want to play for y'all no more. And y'all simply said, okay.
The Indiana Fever organization is under growing scrutiny for its front office decisions and player management strategies. A series of unfolding controversies has exposed potential weaknesses in the franchise's operations and overall leadership. One of the most contentious developments involves the unexpected departure of veteran player DeWanna Bonner, a situation that has sent shockwaves through basketball circles and raised serious concerns about how the Fever conducts its business. At the core of the controversy lies a troubling disconnect between player preferences and organizational control. Bonner's exit has brought to light communication breakdowns within the Fever's management, suggesting that internal misalignment may be hindering the team's long-term stability. According to reports, Bonner expressed dissatisfaction with her role and ultimately chose to leave, a decision that yielded no compensation for Indiana despite her value as a seasoned contributor. You can just leave like that? Where do they do that at? Fans asked, stunned. The Fever waived Bonner, getting nothing in return. And now, more information is surfacing. Allegedly, Bonner herself turned down multiple trade offers and potential landing spots. Wait a second, she told them no? She actually said, I'm not going there, I'm not going here? If true, this suggests Bonner exercised a powerful level of control over her situation, one that the Fever front office seemingly couldn't counter. What makes the situation even more frustrating is that Indiana had actively pursued Bonner. They recruited her, invested in her, built strategies around her. Her abrupt departure now raises questions about how thoroughly the Fever evaluated cultural fit and long-term compatibility before bringing her in. Anonymous sources claim Bonner declined several trade opportunities arranged by the front office. These trades could have provided meaningful value to the team, yet Indiana was left empty-handed, no players, no draft picks, nothing. Simultaneously, the Fever's on-court struggles are growing. In a recent game against Dallas, Indiana started strong in the first quarter but then fell apart in the second. The third quarter was disastrous, and they barely survived the fourth. Early in the game, their pick and roll was crisp, beautiful even, but then they completely abandoned it. As the offense faltered, fans were left asking why the team moved away from what was working. While the handoffs and quick trigger shots had their moments, especially from Kelsey Mitchell in the pick and roll, inconsistency reigned. The offensive schemes lacked rhythm and cohesion, particularly in the second half, and it's become a recurring pattern under coach Stephanie White. Reports now indicate that trade discussions around Bonner began as early as the second week of the season, an alarmingly short time frame that suggests things went wrong almost immediately after her arrival. Sources say Bonner expressed interest in very specific destinations while rejecting others, limiting Indiana's leverage in potential deals. Speculation points to the Connecticut Sun as Bonner's preferred team, given her previous success there. Interestingly, Indiana even implemented a motion offense that mirrored Connecticut's, likely to accommodate Bonner's play style and ease her transition. According to some observers, this offensive scheme wasn't just about Bonner, it may have also been designed to simplify the job for coach Stephanie White. But in the end, it backfired. Bonner left. The motion offense didn't work. Caitlin Clark's unique strengths were sidelined in the process. And the Fever were left scrambling. Rumors are now swirling that other WNBA teams have been warned not to claim Bonner off waivers, citing doubts about her willingness to honor contractual obligations. These concerns, if true, stem from how she handled her time with Indiana and suggest a potential behavioral pattern. Even with Bonner's championship pedigree and all-star background, she remains unsigned. That fact alone has many in the league raising eyebrows. Under normal circumstances, a player of her caliber would be immediately picked up. The silence speaks volumes. Financially, the loss stings even more. Indiana forfeited approximately $200,000 in salary obligations without receiving any return on their investment. For a team working under strict salary cap limits, that's a significant setback, and a clear sign of poor asset management. Some have speculated that Bonner simply didn't want to be part of the Caitlin Clark effect. She may not have wanted to run the read and react system built around Clark. But regardless of motivation, the offensive structure that remains isn't working, particularly in the second half of games. Social media is ablaze with commentary. A recent tweet from @CAG called out the situation. If this is true, it's hilarious. It means nobody respects the Fever front office. Players know they can throw their weight around. What a loss. What a loser move by management. And this reflects a larger issue. The Fever front office appears unwilling or unable to assert authority in critical moments. That perception could have long-term implications for how players negotiate with the team, and how future free agents view the franchise. While all this unfolds, another voice has entered the conversation: former WNBA star Sue Bird. Bird has recently spoken out about the current state of physical play in the league. As a part owner of the Seattle Storm and one of the most respected voices in women's basketball, Bird's commentary holds weight. She challenges the notion that WNBA players embrace rough play as part of the game. Instead, Bird argues that the physicality has escalated due to inconsistent officiating, not because players prefer it. According to her, most athletes would rather play skill-based basketball, but they're forced to adapt to whatever the referees allow. Bird points to multiple incidents, players with missing teeth, battle scars, and hard fouls, as signs that the game's physical nature may have gone too far. These confrontations and injuries are sparking debates about player safety and competitive integrity. Sue Bird suggests the league must reflect on the kind of basketball it wants to promote. Does it want to encourage skill and finesse, or brute force? And she's not alone in this thinking. Many believe Bird would make a strong future commissioner for the WNBA, given her experience, business sense, and the respect she commands throughout the league. Of course, her ownership stake in the Storm would need to be addressed, but her credentials are undeniable. Meanwhile, back in Indiana, the team continues to struggle with basics. One glaring issue? Caitlin Clark is constantly forced to create her own shots. With little help off ball and no consistent screens to free her up, she's being worn down by the sheer burden of offensive responsibility. The Fever's off-ball game has been abysmal, and it shows. To succeed, Indiana needs a scheme that gets Clark open without asking her to do everything herself. The pick and roll, which is crucial in both the WNBA and NBA, is being underused, despite its ability to create mismatches and opportunities. In conclusion, the situation with DeWanna Bonner and the Indiana Fever is a case study in mismanagement. From failed communication and player power dynamics to flawed offensive systems and financial losses, it's a warning sign for the franchise and perhaps the league as a whole.